This presentation will be on cyber incident management and a proposed solution to data breaches at Sony Group, created for Info 450 Executive IT Management. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joe Sweeney. I'm a senior here at USC Upstate, and today we'll be taking a look at a data breach that occurred at Sony in 2011, its impact, and a modern incident response plan to prevent future attacks. Let's begin by taking a look at our problem statement. In 2011, Sony experienced one of the largest cyber attacks that caused its video game platform to suffer a 23-day shutdown. Sony suffered a massive data breach in its video game network PlayStation, resulting in the theft of usernames, passwords, security answers, purchase history, credit card information, and the addresses of 77 million user accounts. The shutdown prevented people with Sony's video game console from downloading or purchasing games and playing with opponents over the internet. The Japanese electronic company learned of the cyber incidents 7 days after it occurred, prompting it to shut down the network immediately, but did not inform the public until later. Ironically enough, this sounds very similar to the situation we're learning about in the book The Adventures of an IT Leader and the situation with Williams. Reports from security analysts about the data breach indicated that hackers had discovered a fundamental flaw in the company's network, which would be time-consuming and costly to fix. While PlayStation did not reveal the exact method used to break into the systems, the encryption around PlayStation 3 was cracked earlier in the year. Although this incident would have made software piracy easier, it's unclear whether it may have prompted a wider breach. Sony outsourced an established security firm to conduct investigations, and the firm reported that user account information for its Curiosity service and PlayStation Network users were compromised between the 17th and 19th of April. PSN accounts are free to open and require users to provide only credit card information if they want to buy games. However, the news about stolen user information implies that Sony was storing unencrypted data, which is a huge security error even the smallest websites avoid. The incident was possibly a result of the company's failure to pay attention to security during its network software development, especially with the rush to launch innovative products. Sony's business model involves rapid innovation, resulting in new software with errors. The incident possibly involved a hacker taking over the system administrator's personal computer, who had access to sensitive data by sending them an email with malicious software. Besides having to compensate affected customers in the form of digital goods, the United Kingdom also fined the company $400,000. So what should Sony do? The proposed solution involves an incident response plan, which aims to provide Sony with guidelines and approaches for managing similar cyber incidents. Its objective is to identify network and computer security incidents, establish their scope and risk, respond to them appropriately, communicate the risks and outcomes to all stakeholders, and reduce the possibility of reoccurrence. This plan applies to Sony's data and networks, applications, systems, and servers. It will also apply to any device and individual with access to data, network, or system supported or operated by Sony. The main objectives of this IRP are as followed: to detect and contain data breaches, to preserve the integrity of crucial information, to recover data and systems, to investigate the cause and source of the security incidents. The priorities to serve as a starting point for establishing the organization's response include the following: protect users' information and ensure data integrity, prevent system damage, minimize the disruption of computing operations, control external communication, and maintain the company's image. This IRP will be guided by the Computer Security Incident Handling Guide, and Sony's cyber incident response will entail 5 phases, which include preparation, detection and analysis, containment, eradication and recovery, and post-incident activity. So let's take a look at our first phase, which is the preparation phase. Many events or activities can indicate a possible breach. One example is a simple, legitimate system maintenance can look like a hacker trying to launch an attack, and in some instances, a misconfigured system may result in multiple false positives in a detection system, making it tough to detect real threats. The preparation phase aims to get the organization ready before incidents happen, to reduce their impacts and ensure resilient, systems, and infrastructure to maintain crucial operations in compromised circumstances. To prepare for data breaches, Sony will have incident reporting procedures and policies in place, which will include evidence sharing and interaction with law enforcement. The company will ensure it has an accurate picture of its entire infrastructure. Sony will also ensure that its incident response team is trained and ready to respond to incidents, making users aware of the best practices when using the application and networks will also reduce the frequency of cyber incidents. Next, we have our detection and analysis phase. While it's impractical to establish step-by-step guidelines for handling cyber incidents since they occur in so many different ways, Sony will at least be generally prepared to address any incidents. In this phase, Sony will declare an incident by reporting it to the information technology leadership and relevant authorities. Sony will identify incidents by following the network trail, examining the host, proxy, and firewall logs, and network data to identify host-based artifacts. The incident response team will collect data and store data, safeguarding it in a logbook, which will be crucial for potential law enforcement investigations. After detecting the incident response team will begin to analyze it quickly. The incident response team will use the available data to identify the incident's scope, origin, and tools or attack techniques used. It will also establish the incident's severity and the extent of the impact on its assets. Incident severity will be classified as one of the following, either high, middle, or low, and the level of impact will allow the team to determine how it wants to prioritize the incidents. The analytical process will also include evaluating and profiling affected networks and systems and comparing it to baseline activity for any deviations. The incident response team will try to identify the root cause of the incident and gather threat information that will be used to inform subsequent response approaches and further searches. It will also collect incident indicators to get insight into the hacker's capabilities and infrastructure. Our third phase, which is containment, is important to ensure that a data breach does not increase damages or overwhelm the company's resources, and it also provides time for establishing a remediation strategy. Given that containment strategies differ based on the type of incident, Sony will have criteria for selecting a containment strategy, which include the following: resource and time required to implement the strategy, potential theft and damage to resources, effectiveness of the strategy, duration of the strategy, services, availability, such as services provided to external parties and network connectivity, and the need for evidence. The incident response team will implement short-term mitigations to isolate the threat and prevent further damage into other systems and networks. Again, different cyber incidents will require different containment strategies, but let's take a look at some strategies that the incident response team will use during a data breach. Isolation of affected network and system segments from non-affected ones to prevent further damage. Blocking malware sources and unauthorized access. Directing the hackers to a sandbox to monitor their activities, collect more evidence, and identify them. Updating privilege access and changing system rotating private keys, administrator passwords, and service account secrets where the incident response team suspects compromise, and updating the firewall. Moving on to our fourth phase, eradication and recovery. The objective of this phase is to return the network and systems to their normal operations and address the exploited vulnerabilities. Before commencing this phase, the incident response team will ensure that it has contained all malicious activity and collected all evidence. The team will modify or harden the system environment to protect attacked systems and eliminate the root cause. Eradication will prevent adversaries from maintaining a presence in the system and remove all evidence of compromise. Activities to eradicate the incident will include the following: rebuilding systems from scratch or re-imaging them, replacing compromised files and resetting passwords for compromised accounts, remediating all affected IT environments. Continuing with some more activities of eradication include the following: monitor indicators for adversary responses to the implemented adversary activities, provide enough time to ensure networks and systems are functioning properly, and develop a response scenario for when hackers use alternative attack methods. Some of the challenges faced during the system recovery process include rebuilding systems, confirmation of successful remediation, correcting or recreating information, and reconnecting networks. To recover the network and systems, the incident response team will reconnect the new systems to the network, tighten perimeter security, test the system, and monitor activities for unusual behavior. Which brings us to our fifth and final phase, the post-incident activity phase, which aims to harden the system environment to prevent the reoccurrence of similar or related incidents and apply the lessons learned to prevent future attacks. The incident response team will add system-wide detection to mitigate against tactics, techniques, and procedures, also known as TTPs, executed successfully during the incident. It will also identify and handle blind spots to ensure sufficient coverage and monitor the environment closely for evidence of persistent threat actor presence. The team will also test countermeasures by emulating the used TTPs to evaluate their effectiveness. A lessons learned analysis will also be crucial to review the efficiency and effectiveness of the incident handling process. This analysis will capture the root cause of the incident, challenges encountered, the course of action, and lesson learned. The analysis will aim to ensure the elimination of the root cause, identifying gaps in infrastructure and procedures to address and identify operational and technical needs, and improve detection and response tools. So far, we've talked about the incident response plan processes, and briefly mentioned the incident response team as part of the IRP. But let's dive a little deeper into the incident response team. Sony will have an incident response team available for any person who suspects or detects a cyber incident involving the company has occurred. One or more team members will handle the incident based on its magnitude. The company's incident response team will comprise of the following: an incident response manager, responsible for coordinating incident response activities, and IT and security engineers who are often the network and system administrators, and a legal and risk management will be responsible for reviewing the incident response procedures, policies, and plans, ensuring they comply with federal regulations. The incident response team will also be responsible for informing the media and the public about the incident that occurred. Security analysts will be responsible for identifying the malicious attacks in the network and system and recommending countermeasures against them. They will also establish the effectiveness of the existing security policies. Threat researchers will conduct deep research, analyze, and understand emerging cyber threats, including attack vectors, malware, and threat actors, to develop risk mitigation strategies for the present and future threats. External security forensics expert will bring the team to an unbiased and objective perspective on the company's system and security and identify overlooked gaps. Human research will be involved to assist in disciplinary proceedings if the suspect causing the incident is an employee. Now that we've taken a deeper look into the incident response team, let's explore the incident response tools the team will be using, which include security information and event management tools, also known as SIEM. These solutions offer a centralized platform for collecting, assessing, and correlating event data and security logs from different sources, including firewalls, network security tools, infrastructure, and applications, allowing an organization to have a comprehensive visibility of its system security, detect potential threats, and respond immediately to incidents. Besides monitoring and detecting threats, SIEM will use techniques such as machine learning. The incident response team will also select an SIEM solution that meets the company's needs, including user interface, integration, capabilities, and scalability. It will identify the type of data sources to be incorporated with SIEM and develop a strong log management approach to ensure the collection, preservation, and integrity of security logs for analytical purposes. Incorporating SIEM with intrusion detection systems and firewalls will improve incident detection and response capabilities. Another incident response tool the team will be using includes a network traffic analysis, also known as an NTA, which captures and analyzes all data passing in a network to identify network issues and potential threats, and then sends alerts to the administrator, thereby ensuring network performance and security. NTA's design will allow it to filter network packets based on specific established criteria, including protocols, ports, and IP addresses, and preserve relevant packets for analysis. When the NTA system detects certain conditions, it will alert the administrator by mail and create modifiable analytics and reports based on the captured data. The final incident response tool the team will be using is Endpoint Detection and Response, also known as EDR, which monitors and collects data continuously to allow incident detection and response. It works by installing agents at all endpoints which record data on every activity taking place at the endpoint, including file access, network connections, running processes, and registry changes. By installing the agents in the system's endpoints, EDR will employ machine learning algorithms and artificial intelligence to analyze the data collected. The algorithms will search for behaviors and patterns that show potential threats. It will create an alert after detecting suspicious activity, which will have comprehensive information about the threat, including the type, affected systems, and possible impact. EDR has automated response capabilities, hence, will take multiple actions based on the incident severity. Let's take a look at the value proposition. Sony aims to use technology and creativity to fill the world with emotion. It focuses on earning consumer trust through responsible and ethical conduct, harnessing varying viewpoints and diversity to pursue the creation of the best products. It also aims to conduct disciplined business practices to fulfill its responsibilities. This proposed solution offers a practical incident identification and response plan that will ensure a smooth recovery, ensuring the company's global activities remain resilient and secure. The solution will ensure the company is ready for potential threats by having the necessary infrastructure and personnel to handle them, increasing consumer confidence and trust that their interaction, transactions, and personal information is secure. The plan is guided by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which plays a significant role in establishing cybersecurity standards. Therefore, the plan will ensure the company complies with the industry standards, reducing legal risks. The proposed incident response tools leverage AI, including machine learning and predictive analytics, to identify and eliminate incidents before they affect system and network operations. They also have an automated incident response function 24/7, minimizing reputational and physical damage. Call to action. With the fast and constant evolution of data breaches, the question will remain whether Sony's defense is ready. To stay ahead of cyber incidents, ensure uninterrupted user experience, and protect its global image, Sony should do the following: conduct frequent incident risk assessments to identify system vulnerabilities. They should do these risk assessments not just on systems, but also on the users interacting with the system, as their mistakes can also result in data breaches. Overlooking insider risk can be catastrophic for the company, hence the importance of identifying knowledge gaps in employees and filling them. Create a dedicated cybersecurity response team that will be responsible for creating and revising incident response procedures, policies, and plans. With cyber incidents increasing and growing in complexity, there will be a need for a team focusing on research and monitoring these incidents and developing robust countermeasures to minimize interruption of business operations. They must also invest in advanced incident response tools that will streamline security processes, resulting in cost reductions and operational efficiencies. It will demonstrate the company's commitment to protect users' information and meet industry standards, building consumer trust and confidence in their data security.